This video has been sponsored by Beltline Hobbies and by the Canfield and Worcester Train Shows, Saturday, February 15th and Saturday, March 15th, 2025.
Hey everybody, it's Chris with the Cloverdale Transit Authority, and today just taking a look at this particular set that my dad picked up. It's a Rail King Aerotrain set for the Pennsylvania Railroad. It was produced by MTH in 2001, and my dad has an affinity with this particular train, which wasn't very successful in real life, but it's such a cool train. It's so iconic of that time period when they were making everything look space age. And my dad actually, as a kid, got a chance to ride on the Aerotrain. We knew somebody through the family that was involved with this program with General Motors. So anyway, so he picked this up, and he doesn't have anywhere to run it, so he brought it over to the world's smallest O-gauge train layout here at my house, and we put it on the tracks, and the sound came on. It's a Proto 2 sound unit. The sound came on, but no lights, and I'm kind of looking to see what's going on, and everything's on the track. It's just perfect. And all of a sudden, I start smelling this burning smell. And then the second, so there's 3 passenger cars. There's an observation car and 2 coaches. The middle coach all of a sudden began smoking and basically burst into flames. And I shut the power down immediately, and I reached over and grabbed that car and just pulled it right off the track and kind of waved it around in the air. And I could see just smoke billowing out of the leading end. And I was blowing in at it, and it finally subsided. And I thought, well, something shorted out in here, even though there was no problem with it sitting on the tracks. It wasn't getting any light, but it was making sound, so it was getting power. If you've watched a live stream that I did earlier this year, I picked up 4 cars for this particular set, 2 New York and 2 Pennsylvania Railroad. And I bought them like $10 a piece. It was crazy. They're brand new, but somebody had bought a bunch of extra cars, and this guy bought it in an estate sale and was reselling them. Didn't know what to do with them. They don't go with any other train. So anyway, I went downstairs. I got that. I put that on the tracks, put the power back on. Lo and behold, sound came on, lights came on, everything was fine. So there was something wrong with this car. And I don't think this thing has run more than once or twice. So I don't know what the story was, but let's get it down to the workbench and take a look and see what happened.
All right, so here is the culprit, and I don't know if you can see in there, but these are all of this plastic that goes over something. I think it's wiring or something. Just completely melted. I think you can see that in there. You see it went all the way down to the bottom, and it's just completely melted. So, I sent a message to MTH to ask them, hey, can you call me? I'd like to talk about this, see if you can give me an idea. Haven't heard anything from them. So, which I get it. I mean, this is probably obviously not a new locomotive, and we got it used. So the secret here is going to be to try to take the shell off of this. Let's see what we can do here. Take the shell off of this, and then see what we can see ourselves in there. There we go. Okay. So, let's see if this comes out of here. Yes, it does. Through some force. Kinda. There we go. All right. Interesting. Doesn't want to come out of there. Let's see, there's... All right. Well, you can see the melded pieces in there. That's crazy. Okay. Let's see. This is going to be one of those, am I going to edit this out kind of sequence where I'm struggling to get this apart. Okay, we're back. All right, so got that off of there. And I can see what it is now is, you see the inside of this thing. There's the lights up here, and this is a contact plate inside there. See that? Here. Contact plate. And then these two springs come up and contact this contact plate. So you see that? And those two springs get power off the track pickup. And then they go up in there through these springs, which you see coming up through this plastic housing, right? And they make contact with this contact plate in those two spots right there. And that contact plate then lights up these light bulbs. Okay, kind of cool. However, something happened in that these overheated in just this car. The other cars were fine. Now, when this was an issue, you had sound, but there was no lights for the entire train. The moment I pulled this car off, all the lights came on. So, for whatever reason, these were shorting out, and I'm not sure why. So here's one of the things I'm going to do, living dangerously. I'm going to put this back on the track, and I'm going to see, and it's not, obviously it's not going to have the top on it, but I want to see if these things, what happens with these? Do these short out? So if these short out and they start to melt again while we're watching on camera, it's something to do with the contact mechanism. Nothing to do with where they're connected inside the body housing. So, all right. Let's see. I'm going to have to move some locomotives around here, and we're going to put it on the track, and we're going to see what happens. All right, I got this on the track. I'm going to give it some power. Let me, I know I'm living dangerously here, but I'm going to see if these heat up and they start melting again. I don't want to ruin my transformer, but I think... So nothing so far. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to cut the transformer because I don't want to ruin that. And let me see if this is warm. It's not warm. So, interesting. Wonder if it had something to do with the body. Because you can see in this place right here, you can see where it started to heat up and it started melting this right there. So that was at the top of these here. So, all right. Really, all that needs to happen is this needs to come off. This all needs to be replaced. I don't know. Maybe I should take this off. Maybe I should keep disassembling this and see what we can see. We pull this off of here, we might uncover the mystery. This is a mystery train. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, let's see. This is coming right off. There it is. So here's the two contact points. track pickup power comes into here, goes down to these two little spots right there, travels up these springs, goes up into the roof right back here, makes a contact, and then it lights these lights. All the other ones work just fine, but yeah, so here's the springs, and I don't know. Sorry, let me get that on camera. I don't know if they're, oh boy. Yeah, I'm kind of pulling them apart. They're kind of melted into this. So this is all one solid piece, the seats, the little bathrooms, and this up here. So if I want to replace this piece has to be replaced because these very, very odd, sorry. Anyway, well, let's go back to watching the Aerotrain run now that we've got it put together. But this was a really weird one. Never had this happen before. You can see what happened. Why it happened, that's still an odd thing. But anybody knows where I can get this part, the seating part for an Aerotrain, MTH Aerotrain. I've tried contacting MTH. I can't get them to call me back. So I doubt very seriously I'm going to find this part. I mean, this is such a weird car to begin with. I doubt very seriously I'm going to find this part. But if anybody does have an idea of how to get in touch with MTH and if they have parts for older pieces like this, I would love to find out, because it would be nice to, get this back together and working. So anyway, all right, let's go back to watching the Aerotrain run. It's pretty cool when it's not bursting into flames.
All right, well, we've got everything on the rails here, the lower track. And also want to point out that in with this, with the train itself, there are these fender skirts, if you want to call them that actually go in here, which are more prototypical of the actual Aerotrain itself. Now, because this is a circle of 036 that I run on here, these probably aren't going to fit on because they have little screws that hold them on. This may be just for display purposes, because I don't know if these would stay on or if they would be in the way when you're going around curves. Another thing they have is, if you see over here, there's these kind of flanges here. The door transitions, obviously in model railroading, they're never quite the way they are in a real railroad, but they do have these very short ones here, and then they give you a set of wider sort of door baffle transitions. Then this is like twice as wide as the ones that are on it in the box. So you can put those on there and make a little less space. I didn't bother to do that right now. And then, of course, it comes with extra traction tires. So that's cool. All right. So there it is, the Aerotrain. I mean, it's pretty big. It's really cool looking. And just so you can kind of see, there's the other three cars. And I've run this before, which obviously was when we had the incident of the passenger car bursting into flames. And one of the things I will have to say is that the locomotive itself is not super heavy power. It's got a single motor in it. So I think, if you had other passenger cars, like I've got a few extra ones, which turned out to be fortuitous, I think it struggles to try to just pull these three cars, because these cars are actually very heavy. So I think that, the three car setup is just what MTH wanted. You can buy add-on cars, but this locomotive and the motor in this this model locomotive is going to struggle with that. So All right, let me get down there and see if we can get all of this stuff powered on. You get down here. When I get the Christmas Village put up, I definitely have to have a better place for my KW transformer because I have to crawl under the table. So let's put some power to this this train and see what we get. We're just going to give it a little bit of voltage and let it kind of come to life. All right, well, we're hearing all the noises. And we do have lights on. You can't really tell. We're gonna do some night running on this as well, so you get to get the full effect. It's talking. It's a good sign. And it should say some other things here if I just let it sit there, and it's gonna, do some compressor checks and everything else. There we go. A little compressor check. All right, cool. Okay, well, I'm going to see if I can get this to proceed. There we go. All right, and it does have like passenger station sounds, which it will do if you just let it sit there for a while. It'll do that, and it does have wheel flange squeal too when I was running before. So, all right, let's see if we can get this moving forward. I don't see anything bursting into flames. That's a good sign. I'm not saying that it's not going to, but okay. All right, let's throttle up. And here we go. Okay, it's a little herky-jerky. Let me go back over here and kind of see what we're all seeing. There we go. I can hear the engine throttling up and throttling down, so it's kind of a rough running locomotive. It probably just because it's not been run. I think the second time it's ever been run was when I ran it to test it, and we had the great passenger car incident. Yeah, so kind of cool. I love that last car. Kind of looks like an old 1950s vehicle. All right, well, it seems like it's running a little bit better, and I've got very little throttle on it. So I'll let it kind of warm up a little bit, and then we'll throttle it up here and see what happens. All right, now we'll throttle up. Oh, yeah, we hear the engine coming up. It's kind of cycling. Yeah, but it's cool. I mean, this is, kind of a one-of-a-kind locomotive from the history of the railroad here in the United States. Wasn't a very successful locomotive, but it's really cool, and I'm going to love seeing this run on longer straights under the Christmas tree. But it's kind of neat to see it now. All right, let me see if I can get this thing to throttle up a little bit more here and see if we can get a little more speed. All right, here we go. Yeah, there we go. And nice lights in the passenger car. Again, this will look a lot cooler in the dark, and I'll run that tonight after the sun goes down and give you the full effect, but it seems to be working really great now. And the simulated engine sound, electric motor sound is consistent. So, all right. Well, I'm kind of digging this thing. Now that it's not, on fire, it's great. All right, let's get some other shots here. All right, let's check out the flange squeal sound here. We cut the power back. And back up. Let's try that again. Pretty good. Cool. All right, away it goes. See if we can bring it back around here. Here's some passenger sounds. Maybe not. So I've hit the direction button, it stopped. And we just hear the engine idling. Maybe we'll hear something cool. Come on. Oh, it's a little compressor check. Talking about the snack car. You've got your choice. It's in one of 3 cars.